In case you are not hearing me, we're talking all these conspiracies. I got more conspiracies. I don't know what this going on. You said I got these vaccines. You see, I don't know what it means. I'm over here from this flat earth. I'm like, I'm going to give birth. I heard it was Jesus on a Tyrannosaurus. It happened one day. There was footsteps in the concrete. It was a dinosaur and a human. How could that be? How could that be? I don't know. That's about it. The music will keep going though. Watch, I'm gonna push it on.
Everything you said. Awesome.
Yeah,
That was fucking awesome. Well, that was my whole list.
yeah, well, I know. Everybody has something to talk about. So, yeah, I wrote my list down. I thought it'd be funny because I was watching a video the other day. Somebody was saying, Cowboys lost, football game. So Ted Cruz, they're like, how long is it going to take for him to blame the liberals? So I was like, so I wrote here, just Obama. So then it comes down to it, I'm like, well, fucking Obama. That's like the answer to everything, right?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what. Give me 3 things that you missed from pre-pandemic, man.
You rushed into this really fast. Well, how about this? How about you just introduce yourself?
Nah, fuck no. My name's Barry. I'm from around. If you guys don't know me, ask somebody.
Yeah, somebody. And I've met you just actually down the street here. I don't know if you recognize we're down the street from the open mics.
No.
Well, yeah, the Chico's is down the street. That's when we had our first really true interaction.
Nope.
Yeah.
Google Maps brought me here, dude. I don't know where I am.
That's usually how I live too.
Fuck yeah.
I was working in the Bay Area, and sometimes when I get on my phone, like right after work, you have to get in your car, get on the freeway to hurry up and get home, or once you get stuck in traffic in the Bay, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Right? So the goal is to hurry up, get in the car, and take off. And then as I'm getting in the car, I'll set up my Google Maps. And then sometimes the GPS doesn't connect with my phone. I don't know what the fuck's going on. It does all the time. So it's like it won't tell me where I'm at. Well, it's like say I'm in Clovis, and now I'm on the highway there. I have no clue where the fuck I'm at, and I'm raised there. I still, even though I've been there for like 3 years, I don't know where I'm going. And it's like, oh shit, I'm gonna end up in Oakland. I know it. And finally, I turn my phone off and on. It comes back on. I'm like, oh shit, I missed my exit.
I got lost in San Francisco for a whole afternoon.
Oh yeah,
you could spend a whole afternoon there
for sure. Yeah, especially without a phone.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah, turn right at the big building.
Or you can only turn left on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Oh yeah,
between
yeah.
certain hours.
Yeah, fuck those roads. I don't understand sometimes the things they have down there.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So you did I've had this. I said this is probably my 93rd episode. I've probably had 30 or 40 guests. First person actually bringing a list of information.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Well, because I'm interested for your opinion.
Oh yeah, I have zero opinions. My opinions are terrible.
But I'm 3 things you missed from pre-pandemic. I'll even share mine.
Oh yeah.
I miss people being fucking cordial.
Cordial.
Yeah. I miss not feeling like a dirty prisoner. Every time I go somewhere, I got to be quarantined off to the side and temperature checked and wear a fucking mask and have a vax card, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like those the old movies, I'm on the wrong side of the wall. And I miss being able to go anywhere I wanted to go and do whatever I wanted to do and fucking feel like I lived in America.
Yeah. I see pre-pandemic to me, I always tell people, when I used to go grocery shopping, my wife would be like, oh, we're only grabbing one thing. Grab a cart. And I'm wiping that cart down because I know, one, nobody does their job.
Yeah.
So fuck just, COVID. Dude, that thing could have hepatitis on there. Like, these people are dirty motherfuckers. Everybody uses a grocery store, right? So I get actually the cart just as a buffer. People I'm going to keep my social, way before COVID, I'm keeping social distance with this cart. Stay away from me, a cart distance. And I used to tell people this all the time. I hated society on certain things because I'm like, keep a bubble. Everybody should have a bubble perspective in life, right? Even our founding fathers said, my freedom begins at my fist, but ends at your face, right? So it means your bubble should not interact with my bubble, no matter what it is, chemicals, smell, farts, walking, perspective, and voice all day long. Go ahead. But instead of fucking in my bubble, and now I get to wear a mask. I'm on here all the time. This right here. I'm going to change it. That's you.
Yeah.
This is seen way too much. And when I wear a mask, people still be like, oh, Reuben, I can tell it's you by your hair. So now I wear hats or tattoos, bro. Dude, They know this is me. I wear long sleeves. I like to be not identified. So to me, I'm like dressing like a ninja was one of my childhood goals. Boom, check. Not be able to, like I told you before, I like to show off, but I don't like accolades. So I never wanted people to even like, if this would never happen probably. One day maybe, but right now people will never be like, dude, I just saw you on YouTube. You're amazing. It'd make me feel weird. You know what I mean? So like, I don't want anybody to come and say I'm cool in public. So, or to say, dude, I saw you on YouTube. You're an asshole. I'm like, that's my little daughter. Please, leave a comment on YouTube. So I like hiding, pre-pandemic. What I lose? I don't know.
That's crazy.
I don't know. I was always a recluse,
You should make it your New Year's resolution to be the opposite of that.
Of what?
Well, you're born a social creature. Humans are social creatures.
Well, to a certain amount.
Have you ever seen a hermit or those backwood bush people like ever just being socially like, you know what I mean?
Dan Kaczynski was writing letters to everybody.
Yeah, he was a lover. He was a lover. But I'm just saying, you'll get more out of life. You the more you put in, the more you'll get out.
Oh, 100%.
And so I don't know. Just think you have the power with a word or a gesture to change somebody's day or life, and you're holding that back from other people. You're being selfish, dude.
What it really is like to be like, it's like anonymity. Like in public now, I get to actually hide behind a facade of just being a normal person. Like I don't need to be tied to this or that. I can literally see you. Like yesterday, I was at the grocery store and this guy had a hat on and said, "Make America Great." He's obviously making a statement, right? The guy he's not even president anymore. It's been a while. The hat's really old. Okay. He's not going to use that campaign when he comes out again. He's going to say, "Make America Great Again," or something. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know what he's going to say, you know what I mean? But, my point being is the guy had a statement of his belief. I'm a union Democrat. I've always been, union member my whole life. I'm like fourth generation union member. My dad's named me after a political activist. I've always been part of politics. The guy moved out of the way so me and this other gentleman could walk by. Some people might have identified him as, like I said, just exactly what he wanted to be identified as. He wanted to be seen as a Trump Republican, right? But I didn't give him the identification. I just walked up and said, "Thank you, sir. I appreciate it." I just said, let him be his actions rather than his identification. Me, I don't want to be identified by who I look like, so I like hiding. But my actions, that's what I want best.
What if he just wanted to be identified as a human being at
Well,
a grocery store?
Well, he wouldn't have wore like even.
What if it was the only hat he owned? It was a sunny day.
Even when it comes to hats, like I hate when I'll wear Golden State Warrior hats. Not many times people say, "Yeah, Warriors, bro." I'm like, "Hey, cool, random conversation I wasn't ready for." I love people kind of, but it's like, I really the more markings you have, first of all, I have a face that everybody wants to talk to. Like I am talked to all the time in public. My wife hates it. And not to mention, I'm going to interact with you if you're close with me at a social distancing with my shopping cart. But if I can hide out a little bit. But before COVID, like, I don't know, I was always just a worker and dad, the thing I think the problem I have, and I wouldn't even tie it to COVID, is just the overwhelming media lie diversity. You know what I mean? Like I've talked about this all the time. And the term mainstream media, that's funny to me, because like I said, Sinclair Media, which is a company that owns the largest portion of all media in America, has been trying to buy up 70 to 90% of media. And they are the ones who own Fox News and who are on pretty much every local small TV station is Sinclair Media. And they give out talking points, not talking points, actually word for word. Like I always tell people, like, I'll look it up right here.
I've seen them.
Yeah.
They're just faces reading shit off a teleprompter.
Yeah. And then those people, the largest streaming of media, the number one news station in the world right now is, besides Joe Rogan, Tucker Carlson. He's been like that for a while. Before that, it was Sean Hannity. And Sean Hannity had it for a decade. Before that, it was Bill O'Reilly. Before that, radio, Rush Limbaugh. So the largest media in the last 20 years by far, like not even close, by far, like 4 out of every 5 TVs is Fox News. And they're the ones telling everybody that everybody else is mainstream media. Like, and then like people today still post up mainstream media comments like, dude, you voted just like the mainstream media wanted you to. Fox News and Sinclair Media told you vote this way, and you voted that way. So when people say like the mainstream of media, they're not even talking about the right. They're under control with the terms. We love catchphrases.
Yeah, fuck yeah. But you just gotta use common sense. I mean, with all that shit, there's a wet market where a virus came from, like 3 blocks from a fucking viral institute. Okay, I don't think so. That's, you've got to get 25 doses of this vaccine for it to stop, transmission. Okay. They didn't know about gain of function. Okay. Change the definition. Like, common sense.
Well,
like,
science is a constant changing.
It is. But if you go and you look at the definition of gain of function, that's clearly what was going on. Even with the definition change, you can't get away from that. If you take a virus and you make it more lethal, that's a gain of function.
Yeah. And the before this all started, there was a group that came out, and then there's reasons why they want to hide this. The Obama, during his time, he had a group out there trying to find these, viruses and trying to find ways to get vaccines because of previous things. We got to stay aware, be already ahead of the game. I don't know if I agree with it, but that's what they were doing. Then Trump got in office. See, is that the CIA? Are we off the air already?
Hey, I'm in a podcast, bro. I got to call you back. That's my best friend.
Oh, yeah. My girlfriend calls me all the time. It's like, hey. I'm like, no, I'll call you tomorrow. Then they call me back tomorrow. Hey. I'm like, look, I know I got to get my car warranty. And the next day, hey, Reuben, car warranty. I'm like, okay, I'll take care of my car warranty. I'm joking. I don't have a girlfriend. This car warranty just calls me all the fucking time.
All I can say is, quoting Eddie Griffin, they don't call it television programming for no reason.
Yeah. No, but so anyways, Trump, when he got in office, he eliminated that program, right? So we stopped trying to find ways to prevent future viruses, right? Right?
By creating the viruses.
That's
and
what
then,
they did. No,
and
I'm not saying I agree with any of that, but that's what they did. And then they had like our military, all the countries are tied, right? We have military bases and people were all over the place and we're all talking to each other. So we had like some kind of world like military training, and our military was over in China doing something, and they left that area. And when they came back, they brought this virus back. It was widely marketed, but then obviously, if you say that we fund the Wuhan lab, America, not just Trump, not Obama, but like America.
Well, the research started in South Carolina.
Not Dr. Fauci.
Took it back to
he's just some dude.
Well, yeah, but he's approving the funding, and he's also the face that's lying.
He's just a he's
the science. Didn't you hear him say it? He's the science.
No, he is Spud McKenzie.
No, but Spud McKenzie couldn't. When Spud McKenzie barked, policy didn't change. Like when he says something, then everybody has to do it. If he says you need, 48 boosters and 2 pumps to the butt, dude, we have to get all those and the pumps to the butt.
He doesn't make those decisions.
It sure the fuck seems like he does.
So I'm saying he doesn't make any of those decisions. He's just some guy saying, hey, this is what I recommend. You could do whatever you want, but not because I decided it. He said the CDC or the WHO or whatever it is, they said it. So I'm just going to say that's what they recommend. That's what they hired me to do.
Fuck yeah.
So I recommend this according to the scientist, and everybody else has come up to me and he said, but he doesn't write any bills. He's not in charge of anything.
No, he's better because he's unelected.
But he's not charging anything though.
The fuck he's not. He's in charge of the NIH. Whatever.
He's an invisible. He's like AOC.
No, he's like a bank. Like people come up. Like he's sending out money. He's in charge of a lot of shit. That dude is in charge of a lot of shit. But the thing about it is that when he speaks, people listen. And so my question is how many times could I lie to you before you're like, dude, that guy's a fucking liar. He came right out. You don't need masks. Okay, you do need masks. Okay, now you need this kind of mask. Okay, one vaccine and you're good. Like his shit's never, and he never takes anything back. He's unapologetic, and to believe that he has the ultimate opinion, I mean, we don't know. And my prime example is I have a medical book from 1890s, right? And in this medical book, besides touting all the miracle properties of cocaine and heroin, because in the 1890s people were all about that, was a part where it said you could take animal dung and use it as a gauze in a deep wound. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm not going to stuff animal feces in my deep wound. But in 1890, that was common medical practice. You know what I mean? So if you had a deep wound and you wouldn't let people stuff animal shit in there, you were crazy. That's what the doctor says. That's what people would make you do. Put leeches on you, bleed you. You know what I mean? Those were common medical practices. And if you thought that was crazy, you were crazy. So here we are now in the future, right? And people are like, oh man, you're crazy. Well, am I? Because
Well, there's a difference though.
Is there?
So the difference would be in like in 1850s, you would say they didn't do things on peer-based reviews.
No, but they did best case, what they knew to be best. And that's what we're doing right now.
They used, at the time, whatever anybody sold them. Like, you ever read the story about the uranium girls?
No, but I'm talking, this was a medical book that was written
Yeah, no, I understand.
for doctors.
Well, the term doctors is different than compared to now.
Physician?
Just like electricians, they used to say, I'm an electrician. So back, 60 years ago, electrician then compared to electrician now is completely different thing.
For sure.
100%. You know what I mean? Because you didn't really, or say 100 years
Did
ago.
they have electricians in 1890?
They're going a little bit further. I don't know when they invented electricity completely. I know they had the fucking kite. We're getting, I have the computer, but my internet's not working here, bastard.
But that's all medicine is a best guess.
So, no, what they do is they have so somebody, it's how it works out, right? Science. Someone does something, right? Say they do a study on cancer, and then they say, okay, this is the study I got with all the evidence and all the stuff I have, and they have to put it out there for everybody to review it. And then you can imagine, just like any other industry, baseball, science, music, anything, if you did some kind of work and then you had to give it to all your peers to review, none of those guys would be like, oh yeah, I love this guy. They're like, I'm going to fucking destroy this dude. Oh yeah? You think you discovered a cure for cancer? I'm going to fucking So they go through that guy's review. They try to bust every little bit of evidence. They go through history and they try to get anything. And then they write a review about it, say if it's true or false or where they stand on it. And then they all put out their opinion. And then it becomes a popular opinion among scientists. That's when they would say like 99% of scientists believe in climate change. But that's because it put out the study, and then all these scientists reviewed it, and then another scientist will get that information, because everybody wants to. It's almost like having the best car, but everyone wants to outdo the next guy, right? So if somebody puts out a peer review, someone else will be like, sweet, guess what? You kind of gave me a recipe to do my own project. Now I'm going to do your project and prove you wrong, or bend it a little bit, try to get it better. Because everyone wants to be the smartest, best scientist with the most information. And everybody's trying to disprove the other scientists. You know the story about Nikola Tesla and Edison.
Yeah.
They fucking hated each other. And then they had groups. The whole that's today, bro. Life, no other human instinct has changed, but back in the 1800s when they said, we're going to bleed you out, or we're going to give you cocaine, or we're going to give you flannel to put inside your body, that was because they weren't peer reviewed. They were just salesmen. They were selling shit. Just like almost today, how the drug reps come in and they're selling products to these people, but at least at that time they have some kind of lawsuit fund. So if you do die, there's some kind of lawsuit to eventually pay you.
I just look at them like mechanics. I go to them, I get their opinion. You know what I mean? But when you go to a mechanic, they want to fix everything.
But mechanic is a guarantee almost. Like,
no, it's not.
So mechanics work. They have something called when the person works on the front desk, they're called not a sales rep. My ex-father used to own a shop here, just burnt down. Anyways, they have a person who knows everything about a car, but can't work on it. And then the mechanic,
the nurse practitioner.
Exactly. Like if I come with the term, I'm gonna fucking say it.
Hey, but going back to the journal articles, look, if I put out a journal article and I have a solid hypothesis and I run solid statistics and I run solid clinical trials and I come up with data and then I repeat it and I get the same data and I repeat it and I get the same data, then when I put it out, I don't have to worry about it, because that's what makes it empirical.
No, that doesn't make it scientific. That's not science. That is
science.
That'd be
empirical.
That'd be one person. So people try to do the same thing. So the trick is, now you do that in your house, right?
No, but you're missing it. If I say that it's going to be A, and I can show you that through this process it's going to be A every time, that's science.
Well, how about this? You know that chick, right, who just got a sentence for the blood testing, right? What's that chick's name? She was the richest.
Yeah, she was scamming, yeah.
Yeah, so she did exactly what you said, right? She said, look, I have this thing. I tested out the blood. Don't look at it. Don't look at it. It works. Don't look at it. And then they looked at it, they're like, that bitch is lying.
Sure.
So, because, hey, if it works, put it out. Hey, let me do it, bitch. Let me do it. Let's see. Sure. So that's the kind of the thing is, if it works, let's put it all out there. Let's see if it works. If it doesn't, then it's not real.
But hey, fuck, I agree with that, dude. There's so much shit that that's being hidden from us. You fucking bet. But
most of it's money. Like money based, and then also
Yes.
if there's money to be made, nobody's good. Like there's not a overall. There's a couple things. Like what we were saying, like you said, we're social people. Okay,
we are social people.
One, they have a study. I can't remember what it's called, but there's something like the mind can only hold like 100 names and people. So like our groups, our little civilizations, should only supposed to be a certain size. Past that, it becomes too big for us to keep up true relationships after a certain number. And dogs have a certain number. Every species has a certain number. That's why they live in packs, because any more than that, it's hard for them to communicate or keep that group safe. That's what that's so. There's that, you know.
But if they're true friends, whether it's been a day or a year or 10 years, it's going to feel like it was yesterday. And if you maintain those relationships, then it's not really a thing. Spend a little time here, spend a little time here. But I promise you,
I'm talking about immediate circle.
Well, yeah, but
Never let anybody go from the past, but like, you know, say like right now, like your clique is only so big. Your clique can only be so big right now for you to have a real relationship with everybody at this right now. But then say in 5 years, your clique's gonna be different, but doesn't mean that for those people you dropped off. It just means it's hard to keep a real relationship. Like, hey, we have any text? Like, man, I can only hold 100 people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's what that's what it's down to.
Well, for me, I met my best friend when I was 3, and he's still my best friend to today. So I still have my first friend. The first friend I ever met, I still have.
That's bullshit.
I swear to God.
Bullshit. How old are you?
Dude, I'm 40. I'll be 44 this year. I'm 43.
That's cool.
Yeah. No, he's my best friend. His name's Jason, dude. We met.
What's up, Jason? Shout out to Jason.
Yeah, fuck yeah. He was 4, I was 3. We lived on the same street. Yeah, he's still my best friend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm just joking about bullshit. My parents live in the same house I was 2. So I was telling, what's his name, Antonio. I graduated, went to school with people from 5 to 18, like a group of like 50 guys. So we raised hell.
Yeah.
You can imagine.
But I got 5 rules I never break. Never mess with another man's money, women, family, drugs, or business. Everything else is negotiable. And so I've been able to maintain. I pretty much still have every friend I've ever made. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, those are pretty basic, right?
And well, so they did a study on luck. And they took like 30 of what people consider the luckiest people. And they went through and they did all these. So what it came down to is the luckier people had a bigger group of friends. You know what I mean? They were able to make opportunities.
No, I agree with that.
And so,
would it be luck, or would it be more about?
But it would seem lucky to me and you. You're like, oh damn, you get to be vice president of that company. You don't even have any experience. You're so lucky.
Yeah.
But his buddy's dad owned the company.
Yeah, 100%. Well, yeah, I've been busting my ass doing here. So I was looking at other YouTubes. I'm like, man, I have thousands of hours of views and downloads and stuff, but like I'm not to where I want to be. And I see someone else all of a sudden had like 12,000 views on a YouTube. I'm like, how this motherfucker? I'm like, or how did he get a guest? Like, you know somebody, or you did something. Like it just doesn't happen like that.
It's networking.
Yeah, networking.
You have to ask people.
So I'm friends with everybody.
Dude, I was on The Price is Right, like on the show, but I was in the audience.
What?
Yeah, and yeah, I would have got on, but they asked me where I came from, and I was like, originally from my mom.
Atascadero prison.
Yeah, no, I was like, from my mom. You know, I should have said where I was. But anyways,
yeah.
But the announcer up there, who had taken over for Rod, he was telling us, he's like, yeah, I was in the audience one day like you. And Rod says, you got any questions? And he says, yeah, how do I get your job? You know what I mean? And he's like, and now he's got that dude's job.
Yeah.
So you just got to ask.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%. I was telling to all comics. I had a comic on here one time who's she's a female. She's busting her ass. She's getting it, and she's getting shows all over the place.
Yeah.
And successful. She's just doing it, you know. And she was before that she was a model, and then she did a little bit of acting. And why she's so successful? Besides, she's beautiful and she's talented, but she's doing it. She could just be beautiful and talented and not do it, right? So the key is you really got to do it. And you hear comics talk about just keep on doing it and doing it. You mean so? Do it.
Well,
Believe it.
I just do it for the rush.
Yeah, whatever it is. I mean, in life.
I don't give a fuck.
To be what you want to be or do what you want to do, you got to go out there and believe it and do it and put the effort into it.
You gotta if you can conceive it, believe it, you can achieve it.
Yeah, 100%.
Amen.
And that's my feeling about like what I do.
Yeah.
Like I don't think that's what I say. I like to show off. Like, hey, look what I can do. But I'm pretty sure people could do it better, and I'm pretty sure that people can do what I can do also. You know what I mean? So like I don't think that anything that I have or anybody else has is one-off, except for their look. Not even that.
So take the potential you, right? Like, just picture you where you want to be, like happy, like whatever it would take to make you content. And I mean
Playboy
like content
Mansion.
to where you'd sit there and I was like, dude, how's your day? And you're like, dude, today is great. And that's it. That's the only compliment you had. Okay.
I don't know what that is.
Well, dude, that's an issue, bro.
Yeah, no, I've talked about that. Yeah. I'm always wanting more, and if not wanting more, my other problem is wanting more for other people. That's
No,
what sucks, too.
but happiness is a choice, man. I mean, if you don't know what makes you happy,
Well, I'm happy,
yeah, but no, but I don't.
but I guess there's difference. Happiness, like I'm happy, but there's I'm always gonna want to learn more, and that's really what things are. Like when I paint, I'm like, oh, let me learn how to do that. Let me do this. Let me learn how to play guitar. Let me learn how to do. So I'm like, I'm never gonna be like, I can just sit here and watch TV for the rest of my life. I don't have that. I'm like, oh, dude, there's a mountain over there. Let's go over there, bro. Like it doesn't turn off.
It's like eating a steak, man. You can gobble through it and get on to dessert, dude, or you can sit there and enjoy the moment. Like this moment right now is a good moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, this is what I want to do. See, these are those things.
Yeah.
But I don't have things of gluttony like steak or money.
No, but it's not about gluttony. It's about enjoying life's benefits. You work, you're able to afford it. There it is. It's beautiful. Enjoy it.
Have more
for what it is.
experiences.
Yeah, but don't think about a bigger steak. You know what I mean? Enjoy the steak that you have. Bigger steaks will come.
I want more experiences. That's what it is.
Sure.
So that's what it said. I want to go to the next mountain. I want to learn more things, build more stuff.
But you're never gonna get there unless you fucking know where they are. Like so. You know what I mean? When I say picture you happy, you need to. If you don't envision that, you'll never manifest it.
Yeah, this is me happy.
No, I understand, but you're obviously not content. I mean,
content is always something. I'm always going to be striving for more information.
Sure.
You know, more happiness in life. To educate people.
Sure.
You mean like my wife laugh about this all the time. Like somebody will be like, "Oh man, my fence broke." I'm like, "That's cool. Your fence broke?" I'm like, no, my fence broke. That sucks. To me, your broken fence is an opportunity for me to go fix your fucking fence or teach you how to fix your fence. Or like what my wife said something happened the other day. She's like, oh man, I can't do this. I might be broken. I'm like, those two things I love to hear. You can't do it? Like, oh, let me see if I can do it. It's like a challenge. Or it's broken. I can fix it. That's fun to me. Like, you want to know where I'm happy in this is? Me fixing some shit, make like, I'll cook dinner for everybody. Like, those things, just doing shit and making people happy, being part. That is me happy. Doing shit.
That's because you're a dude.
But content will never be found with me sitting down by a fire, doing nothing, except for me at the end of the day, or I've done my shit to the day. You know what I mean? But if I'm at the end of the day and I don't do anything, I won't be content because I've let life experiences pass me by.
I don't know. I feel sorry for you, man. You should be content in contemplating the perfection of a blossom, man. I mean, you have this moment, dude. After this, something terrible. I mean, you only have this moment, and there's no reason to all those things you're describing. Those are.
Have you met your life goals?
Have I met my life goals?
All of them.
No, but I've met certain benchmarks. Like, so I was like, hey, I got to graduate college. Boom, I did that. You know what I mean? I want to do this. I got certified in that. I just got my contractor's license recently. Yeah. Just for fucking paper on the wall. You know what I mean? And then I was like, hey, I want to do comedy. I want to try to do this. I want to try to do that. During the pandemic, I was like, man, I always wanted to play drums. So I bought drums. Now I play drums. Poorly, but I play them. Yeah. I taught myself to play like 5 different instruments.
You know Visalia? Mm-hmm. I could drive there.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, we jam. I got my whole living room set up with instruments. They're all left-handed though.
I got my own guitars and basses and shit.
Dude, yeah, jam out. I got some loop machines, dude. I make shitty songs. But this time last year, I couldn't do anything like that at all. And now, as bad as they are, I can make shitty music, which is something you know what I mean. Yeah. So instead of looking at the dude that I want to be sitting in Malibu as a grandpa bouncing grandkids, I'm looking at, okay, you know what I mean? Am I happy where I'm at? Because if you don't change anything, nothing will change, right? So if you're unhappy now, you're going to be unhappy in 3 years, 10 years, 5, whatever. So whatever's making you unhappy, change it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
For sure. No, I agree. I've never been one to be on the other side unhappy. or blaming the other people. And if anything I want or need to do is up to myself to take. I've always been really self-reflective and humble, or noticing, like, I live by the basis of us. I'm not as good as the guy I'll be tomorrow, but I'm better than the guy I was yesterday.
I like that.
And so, like, I've always been that way. So it's like, to be content would be almost like, I almost tell my kid, I have boys. So like you said, you have it's expanding goals. My goal was to make sure that my kids grow up to be good parents, members of society, brothers, sisters, all the things that my kids are already kids, but I got to teach them to be the other shit. So teach them to be that. And now eventually, as they're adults, their next phase in life is going to start happening. So now I got to make sure that I'm there for them whenever they need me. You know what I mean?
But a lot of that stuff you don't have control over.
Oh, no.
So, have you ever heard of stinking thinking? Okay. So stinking thinking is a thought process. And so for me, my thought process, everyone has self-talk, right? Everyone talks to themselves. I don't mean like hear voice. I mean talk to yourself, right?
Oh, yeah.
And for most people, when they make a mistake, they're like, God damn it, you motherfucker, you did it again. And they whoop them themselves. Nobody knows how to kick your ass like you do, right? You know all the spots. So instead of beating myself up when I do something wrong, I divided up into a committee of 7 guys. They all look like me.
Yeah.
And when I say Barry, they all say, yeah. One of them doesn't say, yeah, I kick them off. So the one thing they have in common is they're all about me, right? Yeah. And they never say anything bad about me. When we make a mistake, they're like, okay, I don't like the way this feels. What are we going to do to make sure this never happens again?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're going to do this. We're going to do that. But we don't beat Barry up because we're all about Barry.
Yeah.
Beating Barry up is not going to help anything.
No productive.
We made a wrong turn. We made a poor decision.
Let's find answers.
You know what I mean? We're gonna okay, rule 51, don't go down dark alleys at night, because you go down dark alleys, you might get your butt poked or something like that. You know what I mean? Just
unless you want your butt poked.
So anyways, so what stinking thinking is it's thinking that keeps you in a negative place. Like, you'll never be happy because you're always whooping yourself up. So for instance, one aspect of stinking thinking is called discounting the positive. This type of negative thought pattern involves looking at all of our problems but ignoring any positive events that may occur along the way. We tend to focus only on what's wrong without giving ourselves credit for anything good that happens during this period of time.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That is a negative. That is not healthy thinking. You know what I mean? Minimizing occurs when we downplay the importance of positive events in our lives. When someone compliments us, we might not believe them. That's what some people do. They brush off the compliments and don't give themselves credit for things they've done well. This can lead to feeling like you're worthless, you're worth less than other people, or that your work is not good enough. That's
no. You gotta understand is I'm at 200 on arrogance and thinking that I could do anything in the world. There's like straight up, there's nothing I can't do. I've always had that thought. Even when I was under 18, bro, I thought there's only a matter of time before I figure out that I'm a superhero. Like, I know I have special powers inside me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm greater than. So if I say, don't worry about that, or then I try to always I'm trying to tamper down those demons inside me. Just try to keep me from not being so overly competitive in life, where instead of just being like, oh, dude, I'm going to dominate everything I fucking get my hands on, I'm just like, I'm just going to try the best I can.
Says when we engage in stinking thinking, it can influence the type of day we have in the following ways. Negative thoughts bring on negative emotions, which can create a downward spiral for how you feel throughout your entire day.
Yeah.
On the other hand, when people think positively, they tend to experience more positive moods and better health overall. That's why it's important to try to catch yourselves when you're engaging in such thinking.
Yeah.
It's a bad habit. It can lead to stress, anxiety, and depression, but there are ways to stop these. You got to identify your negative thoughts. If you change the way you think, man, it'll change the way you feel. The only reason I bring this up is because I like you.
But certain things are receptors, though. You gotta understand.
No.
Like
you can make excuses for it, but it all boils down to perspective.
Well, I'm saying certain people. I said perspective. So certain people have perspective of what even like bugs them. Like if someone says I look old, I mean, like you got whatever. I don't give a fuck. Or anything.
That's opinion, yeah.
Something. There's so many things though. Like my point is like certain things might affect you differently than they affect me. I mean, we were talking about your mind's different than the other minds. So like dude, all day, bro. I'm in a good mood all day. Like life is great.
Let me word this differently to you.
Arrogance type great.
So let's say I showed you something, right? Something
Yeah.
I was proud of, a song I made or something, right? I showed you a comedy video, right?
I'd be your number one supporter.
Yeah, and you genuinely liked it, right?
Yeah, Team Barry.
It made you laugh. Like you genuinely liked it,
Barry.
and you paid me a compliment.
Yeah.
What I mean, you're paying me a genuine compliment. You're trying to express to me, hey, I think you did a good job. That's good, right? You're trying to give me that, right? And then I just brush off, nah, fucking Chris Rock is better. You see what I'm saying? So you took that effort to pay me that compliment that you genuinely felt about my art. And instead of taking that, I just brushed it off and said something that everybody knows. Yeah, fuck yeah, Chris Rock is better. But that wasn't the point. The point was, hey, man, I saw something that you did that was beautiful, and I wanted to let you know that is beautiful to me. You know what I mean? And then I just am like, hey, fucking whatever, and I just brush it off. So it negates my compliment. Like, not only do you not receive it, but it takes that away. And especially between two guys, like to give another man a compliment, you know what I mean? That takes a lot. Hey, bro, your fucking art is beautiful. No. I'm like, well, wish I would have mentioned it now. You know what I mean? But you don't do that. Like the way you give compliments is the way other people give compliments. So you gotta receive them just like you give them. You know what I mean?
I try to make sure you understand and other people understand where that painting is in my perspective also in life. I mean, it is literally, you ever heard of those places where you do like, you go get wine and you paint? And
No.
You ever heard of that? Like
Sounds gay.
Well, mainly just women, but they go in there and they drink wine.
Women get drunk and paint?
They tell you what to paint, and then when the women leave there with the paintings, they look amazing. I get mad sometimes because my kid, they have them for kids too, except minus the wine, they just only have the painting part, which would be way more fun with kids and wine. Be like Michael Jackson's Fantasy. Come on, kids, beat it. I mean, paint with red. So they go in there and they paint like a barn or a bridge or wherever it's going to be, and it looks amazing.
Hell yeah.
But really all they did was follow this basic stencil. So there's 30 people in there. All 30 of the paintings look exactly the same. They all look super cool. But it's at the end of the day, it's like it's not it's a stencil. It's not like be real with it, you know what I mean? Like so I've looked that on YouTube. I'm like, okay, here obviously not one off, but
you know what you are?
It's not a big deal.
You are a master at verbal judo. That has nothing to do with anything that I said, but it was a really nice segue. I enjoy that.
Well, I'm saying the same intention of me saying when I say downplay the painting, it's not.
You're like Bruce Lee, bro.
When you say, hey, when you come here and say nice studio, I said thanks a lot. I did it all myself.
Yeah,
because no one has this.
No, and
not everybody can do this.
But I'll tell you what's more impressive than that is the fucking painting, because you didn't build this place, but you made it nice.
I built it.
You fucking created that, dude.
I built the whole thing. Every piece on there.
You're kidding. The whole building? You rent the rest of it
I
out?
could build this whole building.
But did you?
I could. I built many of them.
Did you?
I built way bigger.
Yeah.
I
mean, you didn't stretch that canvas,
and see, when it comes to like building, like construction, I know that like as an electrician, I'll tell you straight out, I'm one of the best you ever see. I'm top 10% by far in the United States. I kick ass. I've done a lot of it. I would tell you about Visalia. Remember I was saying about stuff I built in Visalia, airport. I've done so much. Know why I can tell you about that? Because I know that people aren't good at that. And I know that I've tried to teach lots of people, and it doesn't matter how smart or a lot of people cannot figure it. There are a lot of people who can figure it out. Almost anybody can do the job, I guess. But when it comes down to being like a really good electrician, it is a special, so now you hear a little arrogance. It's a little special thing to do that. But like even like Joe Rogan, how about this? Let's use Joe Rogan as an example. He's the number one viewed, listened to person in the world.
Okay.
Right? By far. Like he outdoes every news network, anybody in the world. More people listen to him on a daily basis than anybody else in the world. And when people try to tell him how big of an influence he is, or you can imagine how much money he's making off YouTube views and Spotify, millions of dollars, just millions of dollars are flowing into him. When people try to say how good he is or whatever he is, does he ever say, yeah, man, bust my ass, that's what I got. Of course I'm number one. You see how much effort? He always says, nah, that's not big deal. It doesn't, it's fake numbers, bullshit. It doesn't matter to me. But it doesn't make him negative just because I don't think my paintings, like it's not a big deal, or to me it's not a great, like I actually have 3 paintings I'm really proud of. I really like that one, but that's a copy of someone too. And the one in my house that I have is one that is no one has. I made it up myself. It's an image of all 3 of my kids in color, but actually not a picture of themselves, more like their souls. But that's really one I'm proud of. No one's getting. So that one I'd be like, yeah, that means a lot to me. This is literally, don't YouTube it anyways, because somebody you might see in a different color by someone else who made it.
All I'm saying is we have two opinions here, right? You don't like it, which is fine. It's your painting. It'll be mine shortly. But I do like it. And I think in this situation, my opinion matters more because you not liking it doesn't make a difference. But me not liking it makes a difference. If I didn't like it, we wouldn't be talking about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I hang it. I like it. It's not great.
But all I'm saying is that the same genuineness and authenticity that you give out compliments are the same way that other people give them out. And there's nothing worse than making the effort to extend something to someone to have them just brush it off.
I think art is different though.
No, it's the same in life.
No, it's like art is someone like, so like if you said someone's good at almost basketball's kind of the same thing too, but there's actually like true accolades, like, but there's like, it's kind of an art and
Sure.
So like my art is more like everything I do, no matter what, is more of an emotional expression. And like I was telling you before, like I don't consider myself a guitar player. I'm a songwriter.
Yeah, but I'm not trying to get one of your songs,
no,
dude.
my point. But when someone says like,
well, how about this?
It's a weird exposure.
You keep painting, and you fucking keep hating them, and just keep giving them to me.
Yeah, sell them. Yeah,
no, not sell them. Give them. Why would you sell shit you hate? Just give it to me. I'll hate it at my house. You know what I mean?
You should have been here like 10 years ago. I gave away fucking 100 of those things.
I'm going to throw some LED lights behind that. That'll be mine. You watch?
I'm going to make you a different one. What's your favorite color?
I don't want a different one. I want that one. Ethan even texted me back. He's like, what painting? That's what I'm talking about. It'll be mine shortly.
Oh, I'm going to make I'll make a bunch of them now. If you like them, see how much I can sell them for.
Dude,
I'm getting on Etsy.
Dude, I can draw stick figures, dude, and swirlies.
I have terrible handwriting. I can't draw.
Well, I've got beautiful handwriting.
That's why I do abstract.
That's
and I'm saying, but like people who like really paint, like I tried to paint a person one time. It was so bad that eventually I just covered up the face and made it into a skull.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
What is that?
This is the kind of shit I like.
Sun?
Because it could be
fucking tree.
it could be whatever you want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then depending on the state of mind you're in, or
an Etsy, it's for $1.99.
I've been to friends' houses where they had one painting, and you're just bored just staring at it, and then you know what I mean? Do whatever you want, but it's art, dude. It's beautiful.
See my house, like fucking, maybe it wasn't 10 years ago, maybe 5, 6 years ago. Every wall had at least one of my paintings on it. Wow. Everybody's room, everyone. It was the most over and self-indulgent thing you'd ever see. Like, oh, cool paintings. At first, like, oh, you made these? And you go to everyone like, your whole house is covered in your paintings? Why don't you just go put up selfies? I'm like, no, that's my Facebook page.
Well, if I was able to do that, I'd do it. My house is covered in paintings, but it's friends and people I paid, to paint me stuff because I don't have that ability. So
art's a weird thing, some people are really arrogant, like with their art. And like, hey, listen, I know my rap's the best, but like, I have albums out. Like, I don't think I've ever mentioned on here that you can go check my album out online. Art is like, or I play guitar, I'll never tell anybody I'm gonna go play. I'll tell somebody I played, or even do an open mic, bro. I'm not gonna tell someone I go do an open mic. I'll tell somebody I left an open mic.
Well, how are you going to get people to come see you?
Well, I got to get better first, and they'll come see me.
Oh, man.
When I'm big enough, I have shows. I got to advertise, obviously. You know what I mean? Like, I think I'm doing pretty good with this show, so I'll advertise this show. Hey, we got a podcast. Go check us out on YouTube, blah, blah, blah. But like I said, especially locally. If you're just locally, friends and people that you're begging to come in, not the ones you're looking for. They're not the ones that make you money. So if you're good enough, they will. If you build it, they will come.
I'm not trying to make money, dude. I'm going for that rush. But I'll give you an example. Old Antonio, I met that guy at his first open mic.
Yeah.
So I've seen pretty much all his performances. I mean, that dude's all over. And the other night, he's up on stage, and my girl looked at me and says, "What's he doing?" I was like, "He's been practicing." I mean, blew me out of the water. So you need to come, dude, hang out with us, man, and just do what you do, and we'll talk to you, dude. You know what I'm saying? We all help each other. It's like
I know. I need more time out there. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, but it's the input. Like when you've got a couple dudes, and everybody's, when it's good intentions,
Oh, 100%.
The other night I was talking to my buddy Billy Bob, and I was like, "Hey, dude, what do you think about this? Would this be funny?" And so he went up on stage. He tossed it out there. It was a worker. You know what I mean? Like it's really to get that feedback because you go up there, the adrenaline kicks in. Sometimes I go up there and then I'm walking off stage. I'm like, fuck, did I do good? Because it's just a flash.
Yeah.
Have a couple good buddies, dude, that you can, some people to help you record it, some people to get feedback, dude. And then it helps build your confidence because then you go in there and you just perform for your buddies, dude. Like, who cares about the rest of the people? You know, you go in there, and you're really just trying to make your buddies laugh, and then it just works out. But it's all in your mind. Everything's in your mind.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, I always say, like, when the worst people you can invite is your friends.
What?
The worst. Definitely wouldn't invite my. And plus, like I said, this is nothing new. I've been doing this. Like, I've been playing guitar since I was like 17, playing music, recording. So you got to understand, my friends have got 25 years.
My first paid show,
voice.
I invited my best friend. I'm friends with this dude 40 years, right? So this time we've been friends like 30 years. My best friend. Take him to my show. I'm telling my jokes, and I'm looking over at him. Not a peep. After I get off, dude, every person after that, he's dying. He's the loudest person in there.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, you don't laugh once for me, and you're dying. He's like, I already heard your shit.
Heard your shit many times.
I said, fuck you.
I know you. I know your personality. You know, I know everything about you. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's part of the problem sometimes.
But if you can make your friends giggle, then you know it's a winner. Like I was trying to work a joke out. Do you know what a strawberry milkshake is?
Is it a metaphor or something?
No, it's where you
Innuendo?
when right as a girl gets you off, you punch her in the nose, and so it's a strawberry milkshake. You can imagine cum and blood and everything.
Yeah.
So I was talking to my buddy, and he's like, "Oh, can you imagine Tinkerbell like swinging around your dick like a stripper pole?" And then she asks you if you've ever had a fairy rod, and then just jams a little arm down there. If you smacked her off at the same time you nutted, would that be the world's smallest strawberry milkshake? You know what I mean? Just shit like that, dude. You know what I mean? That's just fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That's a fucking awesome image. I don't remember where I was going with that.
Well, you're making me hungry.
Yeah, I know.
Or horny for a fucking midget.
But back to connections, dude. Fucking connections. I wouldn't be able to do comedy without my friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where all my comedy comes from. Real life and interactions.
I'm like that band on the Airheads. I'm the Lone Rangers.
Oh man, you got to give people a chance. Once you realize that you're above average, you know, and just give people benefit of the doubt. Like,
I'll give everybody benefit of the doubt.
Take everyone.
I let everybody in.
Take everyone where they're at instead of.
I have an open door policy here.
You know what I mean? Instead of looking at things like that, just take them for where they're at. I
don't see the levels of anybody or comparison to anybody. You know, tall, short, good looking, fat, successful, blah blah blah. You know, like I've always been a blue collar construction worker, right? My kids go to the richest school here in town. People in suits always don't want to look down on me because I'm wearing, you know, dirty boots. They don't know who I am or what I make or what I do. And then I end up coaching their kids, and then they think they're smarter than me because, you know, they wear a suit and I'm the dirty guy. So I've never seen, or the behavior, no one's, I don't let anything judge you by, I don't know if you guys ever seen me too. I have this homeless guy down the street, Billy. Ever tell you about him?
Mm-mm.
If you look me on my YouTube page, I have a video about Billy. He's my best bud. He lives down, he's a homeless guy. I try to help him out as a kid. Only thing I could do is make a video for him. He's a vet. You know what I mean? I don't think anybody's above anybody. I don't know. I've talked to Antonio about people getting bumped on open mics. That bugs the shit out of me because I'm like, bro, who's better than who here?
You know,
just show up.
I've been bumped on open mics before, and what I did was, you know what I mean? You just like, hey, I went and talked to him, and what happened is the next open mic they put me up first, and it was a better audience, so it worked out better for me because the night that I got skipped, I wasn't really ready for it. So the universe has a flow, right? And so you're always going to end up where you're supposed to be. You can fight the flow or you can go with the flow. So if you, instead of looking at it like I got bumped, that wasn't my night. You know what I mean? Because the next time when I did get first with the real audience, I destroyed it. So
that was my goal, right? To do it in front of a real audience, right?
Yeah. Well, so that night wasn't for me because that night was for somebody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. But sometimes you need to understand that someone else is trying to interfere with your path. Like you had a path,
but
and
they can't.
Somebody tried to interfere. So you had a path. You put your name on the list. You did all the right things, right?
Yeah.
And then someone, instead of letting things happen like they were supposed to happen, someone changed the list, right? To try to change your path. They changed your path. You had a path,
especially after I drove 45 minutes and all that. But that's
yeah. So my point. So like I said, that to me, forget the list in general, but to me, for anybody to think that anybody is more successful or deserves to get bumped or moved in any other kind of situation, you know, unless they did something like they erased someone's name and did something rude or something, you know what I mean? Other than that, like no one's better than nobody.
I don't look at it like that.
So I don't put people on level. You put people on levels?
No, so for me, it's just a mistake. I fuck up all the time, like overlooking someone. It could happen.
So what if it's a normal thing?
Well, then you say something. You're like, hey man, I've noticed.
What if
this.
everybody has the same story?
But I don't get angry because
Neither do I. No, what I do, I just move
people
on.
only have the power that you give them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They only have the power.
So I just take it. Like I said, the path was going this way. I'm like, oh, these people aren't working on the positive energy that I'm working on. Like I was talking about you, and I said, oh, like, hey, you connected with the same people that I connected with because you guys all had the same positive energy. So those people that are working off the other energy, instead of trying to change who they are or change their behavior or correct them, I'm letting the universe make its control. And me, I'm still going to go keep. So it'd be like you're walking and a tree falls down. Are you going to talk to the tree and tell? No, I'm like, you know what? Fuck that. What if like 5 trees fall down? Like, oh, this path isn't doing very good. I'm going to go this other path where these trees aren't rotten. I'm still going to meet the top of that fucking mountain. I'm just not going to let anybody else's behavior or bad personality or negativity affect who I am or how I act.
I don't think that would be my course of action. If there's trees falling down, you need to get into a clearing and wait for the fucking trees to stop falling before you pick a path. You know what I mean? Because your path might still be true. There's just some obstacles in the way. Like you need to pause.
Oh, yeah.
Like you're trying to run down your path. You need to pause.
But you see those rotten trees. Like, don't go down the rotten tree path.
But it's all in perspective. Like there's a lot of insinuations made there. Like you can't infer people's intent unless you ask them. So if you didn't ask them, then you really don't know. So then you have to assume that, like, I just give people the benefit of the doubt. And the way it worked out was they just overlooked me. You know what I mean? And it happens. There's 30 people, 20 spots. But what I'm saying is, when people do things, right? Like when I do things and you receive it wrong, I'm like, hey man, I'm sorry, but my intentions were good. But when other people do things to me, I only look at their actions. So if you start looking at people's intentions, like, did they intend to skip me? No. Were they trying to hurt my feelings? No. Shit happens.
I don't have feelings for anybody. So
you should.
No, I feel it for people. Sorry. No one's going to affect my feelings. So when people do things, it's emotionless. Those are emotionless situations.
But if nobody affected your feelings, then you wouldn't want to be recluse.
So what if someone told you, no.
It can't be both.
There's both. There's both. So you do a lot of, like, say you do shows and do this, and then you're able to pull yourself down. It's called a balance.
Well, I don't know.
I don't have to be, everything in my life doesn't have to be public.
Well, no, that's true. That's true.
So because I'm already out there, I'm talking. I do so much of this. I coach sports. I've done this for decades. Even I'm an electrician. I'll run. I stopped doing this now. I'm over it now. But I used to run 10 to 50 to 500 men on a job site, or women on a job site. So like I've done that. I've been there. I used to be on stage, dance around like an idiot, right? So I've attention or the amount of people interaction, I get a lot of it. I'm the first person to go to the grocery store, no problem. I do everything. You know what I mean? But in my personal life, I like to have my own personal space and make sometimes my amount of exposure or public more of my control. I don't need to be constantly exposed to open conversation at all times of the day. That's kind of like the bubble thing, you know? But how about this? Back to the bumping thing. What if the person you've said has done it to many people, and then verbally says, I bump these people. If you know anything, like I said, watch that show I was talking about, Dying Up There. Bumping is not something you normally do unless Eddie Griffin showed up.
I don't know.
Joe Rogan showed up. But even though Joe Rogan will say, no, I'm not going to bump you. No, they'll say, go up ahead of me. Like, no, dude, you were here. I'm just going to show up. There's time for me afterwards. Let me fit me in. And people usually just say, no respect, I will bow down to you. Please go up. We want to watch you as respect. But in the industry, bumping is a negative thing.
Sure. But look at it from my perspective.
And then many people talk about them getting bumped also.
The person that did the bumping runs the fucking mic. So
yeah.
So if I could be a big dick about this one time, or I could just accept it, and like I said, it worked out better for me.
Be a dick or just move on.
Well, yeah, I just was like, hey, dude, shit happens.
I'll put this.
I'm still supportive to the rest of the guys.
What if you go 5 times, 3 times you get bumped?
Well,
how many times are you going to keep going there and sign your name on the list?
Well, I'm going to keep going because I don't let people fuck with me like that. But by the 3rd time, I'd be like, hey, dude, what am I not doing that other people are doing? Like, or I'd show up earlier. I would start doing things like, if you can start signing up at 5:30, I'll be there fucking 3:30, right? Just to see. because then you'll know if he's bumping me to be a dick. I'm the first person on the list.
So, okay, you're funny. It's funny you said that.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you the situation that happened to me. I'm always, I would never ask to get on. That would never be anything I would ever do to anybody. I'd never say, hey, can you put me on the show? Never, ever would that. If I'm ever going to be on a show, someone's going to ask me because I deserved it. And they're going to want me there because I'm funny. I'm going to have to earn it. So I'd never, ever ask for a spot.
Really?
I wouldn't. I'm not saying it's a judgment call on like what anybody else would do, but I would never do
I want spots. If you have spots, people, I want them.
Oh no!
I'll fucking ask anybody for a spot.
Give me a spot, but I'd never ask for anybody for a spot.
Well, fuck, I will.
You know what I mean?
Can't be shy. The closed mouth don't get fed,
Well,
man.
if you hear like other comics, like big comics, it's what happens a million times, and so it's kind of a faux pas, you know.
I'm going for the rush.
Because if you're funny, they're gonna ask you. If you're good, they're gonna get you because they love you and they want you. That's why I reach out to people. I like people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I bring them in. You know. So one, I would never ask to be on a show. Two, I understand that I'm new, right, to the whoever it might be. So I always understand maybe like, hey, let me get some skin in the game, earn my time, right? So, anyways, I just do the best I can. I'd fill in when people need someone to sit down. I'd help out, say hi, whatever people need to do. You know, I tip the bartender. I buy drinks. Okay. One day, because I typically work out of town, hard for me to make it to these usually open mics. 7 o'clock's pretty early. I usually don't show up till 6:37. Then I have to shower, take care of my kids, do other stuff, and then eventually try to go up. I'm too late, right?
Yep.
So one day I showed up really early, 3:30. I took off work early to make sure I get on the list, right? I go in, I'm too early. No one's there. Tables aren't set up or nothing. I'm like, fuck. Well, I know this guy's busting his ass doing the job, right? The guy's really working his ass off. I'm going to help out, and I set up all the tables. I get all the tablecloths. I whip them out, put the chairs out. It's not maybe exactly how they wanted it, but now they're not stacked, and they're not folded up. And no one's there still. I'm like, fuck it. I don't need any accolades for my credit, but if we're all participating in the scene, I'll help out. I'm a man. I can do a little work. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck. So I put a little effort into it, right? You ready?
Okay.
So I'm actually walking down your line, right? So then I said, oh, man, is there a list? They said, no, the person hasn't showed up yet. There's no list. Why don't you make your own list? I'm like, that doesn't sound right, right? So I make a list, and I put my name number 3. I put it out there. I leave. But I'm like, I better go back because that doesn't sound right. It kind of sounds weird for me to leave my name out when no one's there. I show up. The person finally shows up. I said, hey, man, I helped set up. Anything I could do? I made a list. It's not the right list. If you have a list, I'll sign it. No one's there still. The guy puts his list out. I sign his list. Number 3, throw my list away. Right? He said, who told you to make a list? I'm like, waitress. I don't want to throw anybody in the bus. No big deal. Right? So I help out. I set all the tables and chairs out. I watched the whole act. No one's sitting down. Person asked me to sit down to fill in a table spot. Right? Okay, fine. I'll go help. Just your show. I'm not making any money from. I'll help fill in a spot to make sure there's laughter and the spots are filled up. Right? I go back. I'm like number 3, waiting for my spot. I'm all geeked up. Fucking been going over my shit over and over again. Ready. Go up. Hey, we're going to have you go on later. Putting someone else up. Put 2 people in front of me.
Motherfucker. And that made you number 3?
No. Put me 7.
Man.
3rd time that happened to me.
7 out of how many?
It didn't even matter.
Sure it does.
Because I bust my ass to get there the originally time, and the people leave by 5.
True.
So I wanted to make sure that I was top 3 because I knew there might be some people there because I've told enough jokes to you guys.
True
You
that.
guys heard it. So like you said, I wanted a different audience that was maybe there to hear what I had to say rather than the same fucking people. So after me losing, I don't know if you know, but I make decent money working out down, you know? So every day is I think it's about $500 a day at work.
Nice.
So I left work, which could get me also laid off, to come do this thing that I bust my ass off, put my energy into it, and then get bumped by a local.
Well,
I'm like, nah, dude. But all of that, I'm done with all that. You guys can do that. You know what I mean? That's cool. But that's not. Guess what? In my society and who I'm going to be in my circle of people, I'm going to love everybody. I'm going to have an open door policy. You know what? Because there's some people out there who shouldn't. Like, if you want to have like a real like mic decision, there's a lot of people like, dude, you guys don't cut it yet. You guys can't come up here because, one, you take up 8 spots. And there's like a bunch of them. I could be one of those guys, but if I'm not running the mic. But I'm saying a lot of people could be like, hey, there's a lot of these guys aren't even helping out if you want to start moving people around. But I'm not like that. I'm like, let's get everybody out here because everybody has bad days. Everybody learns. Everybody's going to keep going. But if you're going to show up and sign the list, you get to get on the list. But then the person told me this. The list doesn't mean anything. We don't really go by the list.
And how'd that make you feel?
I'm like, oh, then there's no legitimacy at all here. So then I just kept it to myself. I didn't tell it to anybody. Nobody knew. As a matter of fact, I kept going back there, right? But I didn't go up. I would never go up. I would never let anybody else have control of me. I take control of me. So I'm not going to let you have any control of what I'm going to do. I'm going to go find other places, other avenues. You said Visalia, Bakersfield, Labyrinth, fucking other places to talk to other people. I'm not going to let you have control of it. Also, other people said, guess what? That person did something to me too also. A person yelled at me. Oh, the same thing happened to me. And then stories started coming out. I'm like, oh, okay, wait. This person's done a lot of good things for me, help me out. But I'm like, I'm not going to put myself in any risk of, one, any drama, right? I'm not going to let anybody bump me for someone else who makes $0 for this, right? Because we all make $0, right? Except for the person shitting show on, obviously. But like we're all zero making dollar comedians, or we wouldn't be doing these open mics here. We'd be doing open mics where they're more popular because that's just a succession of comics. This is not where comedy is happening. You name the last person that Fresno or Clovis made it big. We can barely get people who made it big to come to Fresno or Clovis. You know, I'm been working my ass off talking to Ian Edwards. I don't know if you know who he is.
There's worse of a scene in Visalia. I got to drive to Fresno. Every time you see me, I have to drive an hour.
I feel bad for you too.
Yeah,
and
fuck.
said you get bumped or anybody to fuck around and said, you don't know what people are doing. So it's not my judgment to be a king or queen.
I drove to Sacramento from Visalia, right? I left at 3 p.m. to get there. Sign-ups were at 7:30. I was there at 6:30 with Mr. Eric Lopez. Eric put his name down first. I put my name down second. Eric went on 4th. I went on 11th. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Now I drove a long time in 5 o'clock traffic to get here.
Yeah.
And I jumped through all your bells and whistles, and you're gonna make me 11th. But instead of doing that, dude, I just did my thing. Like,
but you know what the protocol is, right?
no.
So the protocol is if you're going to show up somewhere and you want to bump somebody, you call ahead of time or you message. Like all comics will say that. I mean, it's on every podcast and they talk about it all the time. It's a big, big thing. When someone gets bumped by someone, they remember it for life and then they do whatever they can to embarrass that person. That's not my personality.
I don't try to bump anybody.
I move on. Like, hey, your success is my success.
Nah, it's all in perspective.
The better you are, the better I'll do. No one's against anybody. If you're successful, I'll be successful. So me trying to hold anybody down is not going to help me at all.
You know, a guy that's got a colostomy bag, you know, me taking a poop is a success. You know what I mean? It's all in perspective, bro.
Yeah.
I'm telling you what. But
me doing great doesn't hurt anybody.
no. But all the stuff that you just described and the situation where I just described where I could totally relate to how you felt, that's
No feelings.
that's just all wasted feelings.
No feelings.
Because
There's no feelings.
If you're just grateful for the moment, dude,
That's a feeling.
be grateful that you were able to go there, that you have a voice, that you could get on stage, because some people can't get on stage. They're unable. They get debilitated.
Well, that's not the situation. The situation is there's a mic every night, everywhere. There's fucking gang of them. Of them.
And if you got up there and just did your thing, then people would recognize. But
To who? Yeah,
but it doesn't matter.
No, I'm saying. So you're saying is take some punishment and keep eating crow,
No.
and then sit there and keep eating crow. So I'm
No,
like,
no, not
you know
eating
what?
crow.
I'll just let you guys do your own crow dance, and I'll let negativity, like we were talking positivity.
Yeah.
You're not going to change anybody's. And if it'd be different, maybe it was maybe a chance thing.
That
Everybody has the same story.
you're right. You can't change anybody, but you
So I'm
can
not going
change
to.
how you react.
Yeah, I did. So I did. I positivity. I'm like, cool. I'm going about my business.
You bet. And then so
Haven't dropped a name yet
you don't have to, because I know who you're talking about.
because everybody's had the same story.
But you're saying, you're like, I'm not going to let them control me. If you meant that, then you would go to the mic and you would kill it. You know what I mean? Because you did let them control you. They scared you away. You left. You don't want to participate anymore.
No one scared me away. No.
Then how come we don't see you?
There's no purpose.
There is a purpose.
No. There's
to
no purpose.
show them.
No. I think I'm trying to say is they've degraded that whole show
in perspective.
because who is the show about?
The show is about making people laugh and getting stage
Comics.
time. For me, it's polishing my craft.
Yeah.
I don't feel
Well,
comfortable
exactly. Comics,
going
polishing your
out in
craft.
front of hundreds of people until I can get my shit together.
Yeah.
Well, that's a place where I can get my shit together.
Well, you could do the same thing here,
I could.
but you actually here you'll hear more people you'll get way more views here than anywhere else in town.
Yeah.
By far.
But I want all the experiences.
Yeah.
I want them all.
Yeah. But if
All
you
of
had
them.
2 choices, where are you going?
Dude, okay.
Positive place or a negative place?
I would still go to both because
No, you can only go to one.
But if I'm traveling,
You can only go to one.
But if I'm traveling the world, I don't get that option because some venues are going to suck and some people aren't going to like my comedy.
No,
and I still have to deal with that and be ready for the next.
You need to
day.
listen to these comics. Because comics say, you know what? We just don't go to your venue. Know why?
Why?
Because there's so many other venues.
Yeah, but
So we let you. What you're saying is, let somebody be a bad person, and then also let them keep being a bad person, and then also reward them by. No, it's called capitalism.
no, but
Don't give that person your business. That's what I'm doing. Sorry,
if I go to a bunch of venues that hate me and I can make them laugh,
they won't have you. They won't have you.
dude. But when I go to a venue that does like me, I'm gonna kill. My motto is 4 people or 400, they get the same fucking show.
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
give a
yeah.
fuck.
Well, you're talking about different things.
No, but what I'm talking, you're talking about. So you go to a venue and you have the people that run it and blah 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 and whoopie whoop, right? So it's all about what's going on there. I'm saying that if you were a traveling comedian, you're gonna deal with a different dude every night. One venue's gonna love you, one venue's gonna semi-love you, one time you're gonna be too drunk. But I'm just saying you can't let that affect you. Like, just.
But
go.
if you go somewhere, and then they say, "Hey, man, we have our own host, and we're gonna have some guy open up for you," be like, "No, actually, we have our own host, and we have our opener." No. So we do a local, we do this, and we do a little. Halfway through, the owner's wife's gonna come up, and she's gonna play acoustic guitar. Be like, "No, that's not my show."
No,
you just don't go back there again.
What I would say is it's your castle, your rules, sir. If I want to perform in your court, then I'll abide by your rules.
I'm saying exactly. But what if
bet.
there's another castle next door? Go to the other castle. Why would you hang out with assholes?
Well, because
You're trying to force your perspective on these people.
No,
or
because
force them to like you.
I believe in my craft. Maybe 3 of the people here.
But you can
will
still
come to
do
the
your
next
craft.
castle.
Your craft is irrelevant to this person's business.
Yeah, but I don't give a fuck about
That person goes out of business, you'll still have your craft.
Hey, if he asks me to come fucking perform, I'll perform, and they don't have to like me. I'll still perform.
See, it's about good people, good things too.
You bet.
You know what I mean?
But some of my best friends were my worst enemies, dude. Like I remember meeting some of my friends and thinking, dude, you're a bitch. I'm gonna fuck you up. And 25 years later, they're my best friends. You know what I'm saying? So
did they backstab you, steal your money?
no.
saying.
In all my life, no, because I've grown up with these people. These are my, like, there's been opportunities where, you know what I mean, where we've handed each other, you know, thousands of dollars, situations where you had to tell yourself, you're like, no, this is my buddy. We don't, but I told you my 5 rules: money, women, drugs, family, business. Don't break those rules, and everything else is negotiable.
Those are pretty basic though. But like between you and me, like we start a friendship.
Yeah.
Okay. They start with basic things, right? One is just basic respect. That's pretty much everybody, right? We have to have respect for each other. I'm not going to be disrespectful for you, respect for me. And then the other two, well, the second one would be some kind of common denominator where we have common interest, right?
We all have a lot of common interests. You like women, right?
Well, I'm saying
And comedy.
Well, I'm saying yeah, exactly. So, but as things go on, we have different things that we work with as we grow.
True.
Right? Trust. Right? But like, oh yeah, we've been hanging out together. I can actually trust that guy. Like if you left your guitar here, but like I can trust that guy. He's not going to touch my guitar because he knows what guitar is. And he knows it's my guitar. I can trust that guy. Though, you know, may not be there yet, but I'm saying those are things that you build up, right?
Sure.
So once you start building those relationships with people, because it's besides just businesses, things are people, then you start to realize when you find where some people are like, oh, wait, I don't know if I can trust you.
True that.
I don't know if right now you are respectful to me or who I am as a person, not you, but in people. So I'm like, you know what? Instead of trying to change the world, I'm going to make sure that I'm just going to do the best I can and be the influence I can and influence the people that want to be influenced by me. But other people, I'm just going to let them be who they are because they're not my son. They have raised themselves and decided who they are. You know what I mean? So like,
did you ever hear the story about the little Indian boy on the beach with the starfish?
is this a porno?
No, this is a real story. There's a little Indian boy on a beach. There's big tide come in and there's starfish everywhere. And this little boy's just running along the beach, picking up starfish, hucking them out in the ocean. And there's this old man watching him do it. He stops him, asks him, he's like, hey, what are you doing? He's like, I'm saving starfish. He's like, well, you can't save them all. It doesn't even matter. He says, well, it matters to this one. Matters to this one. So you never know. It was in a place once, and I had a guy tell me, Every time you mess around, dude, you get in trouble. You need to change your profession. And I thought, dude, right? And so I start working in the prisons. And I'm like, hey, bro, you can get as high as you want. And you can rob people. You just can't get high and rob people because you're not very good at it. And they were like, oh, my God. And so that one dude in passing with that one sentence changed my life. And then I started changing other people's lives. And you know what I mean? And it was just a simple gesture that literally changed the course of my life. So when you talk about picking and choosing, what happens if that day you were going to say something that I needed to hear that was going to change my life? It's going to change another, like it's a ripple effect. Like you're robbing the world of you because some people aren't cool.
Yeah, but you know the
But
thing
the majority is.
you can't save everybody.
No,
That's
I'm
the
not
problem.
trying to save anybody.
No, but so that's the problem, though. I mean, saying you can't save everybody.
But
So like you have to live your life.
But in your scenario, if I left my guitar here and you stole it, then I won. Because for the $300 guitar, I know what kind of dude you are. Because you could have got me for more if you wanted to, because you're my friend. I trust you. So I'm not going to worry about that. So you got a $300 guitar and I got a cheap ass lesson. Think about it. You know what I'm saying? I can go get a new guitar, dude.
But would you leave your guitar here again?
No, we wouldn't be friends anymore. You stole my fucking guitar.
Hey, so now now we're on the same page. We
Yeah.
just fucking say, boom, I'm not going that mic again.
If I can't, no,
I'm not going the mic. You fucking stole my guitar.
if I can't trust you, you're no
I can't,
good to
I
me.
can't trust you. Exactly.
No.
So I'm saying. So I don't. So then, and then you hear certain people sort of say certain things like, "Oh, I get it."
But,
So
but,
I'm just what I'm going to do is because like there's a
but you wouldn't have to steal it from me because I'd loan it to you.
there's addition for some subtraction.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. I'm
Fucking
saying I help everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm always on everybody's side. I am said I've always been the coach, always been the foreman, always been the leader. Said talk about humble. I'm always been in for perspective, and always been positive. I live my life always trying to be better the next day than I was before. And I always tell people, if you think you're smart now and you think you figured it out, wait till 5 years because you're gonna realize you don't know anything. And that's kind of how I live my whole life. Is I better keep on learning because I haven't figured it out yet. Eventually I will. You know what I mean? I'm doing pretty good, but there's always people doing better at certain times, so we got to keep on trying to learn and doing better. But it's addition by subtraction. Sometimes your life will be better. How about this? Ever been married?
Me? No.
So
I was in a long relationship, though, 18 years.
A relationship, it doesn't work out. The other person's gonna. You guys grown apart. Your life will be better by subtraction. I'm on my second marriage. From my first wife, she got pregnant right away. We got married, tried to be dad, do the thing. Didn't work out. Addition by subtraction. Because we subtracted, our kids now have a better life. We have a better future and better. Sometimes you have to take the other path and life. But you might be right in your perspective on certain things, but not everything is a blanket statement on everything.
Well,
Confucius wasn't right 100% of the time.
But it is. It's so simplistic. You make it more difficult than it has to be.
But if you're on the beach tossing out starfishes all the time,
Yeah.
are you taking care of your needs or starfish's needs?
But see, okay, so if I'm at lunch and there's starfish on the fucking beach and I throw some starfish out there, the point of the story is that it mattered to that one. You're not trying to save the world. Maybe just a small gesture would change someone's day. That's just as powerful.
Yeah, well, that's what I do. I'm right here every day, changing. Oh, I'm over there.
But
Changing your life's life. You're welcome.
But I just wanted to make mention that many times during this conversation, I brought up topics, and as soon as we get to the feeling part, that's when you segue off on these neat little tangents and shit. Is that something you're uncomfortable talking about?
No, I just don't think that a lot of things are emotionally tied. I think people confuse. That's the problem. Is that your mind and your emotions are two different things.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So if you get your feelings hurt over shit, that's gonna really hurt you, especially if you're not even in an emotionally tied, nothing's emotionally tied situation.
Okay.
So you really people got to separate the feelings.
So-
Or like you would say,
So the answer was yes.
I wouldn't, no. No, I'm super open to my feelings, but
You just segued again.
everything is not emotionally tied.
No, but you have an IQ, right? Intelligent quotient. You also have an EQ. So you IQ and EQ, right? So a good example is
I have kids and I have dogs and cats and I'm a loving person.
So-
I take care of a fucking chicken and a raccoon.
Imagine, have you ever had a girl like get you super, super mad? Or have you ever been so mad that you did
married twice.
something stupid and then later on you felt bad for you? Like,
All the
that was
time.
dumb. Because you reacted in your EQ. You're reacting out of feelings.
yeah.
It felt good, but you weren't thinking about the consequences, right?
Exactly.
So you have to have a balance between that. So you have to be able to dip down into how you feel. Because believe it or not, you can deny it, but a lot of things you do are based on feelings.
But you going to an open mic.
No, but okay.
It's all business.
No, but I'm talking about in life. So you're trying to say that feelings have nothing to do with it.
With those things.
Well, they obviously do, because if you wouldn't have got your feelings hurt, you'd still be going to the open mic.
No, it was a business. So my business it cost me a lot of money to leave my job.
Sure.
And then I went over to someone else's business to help their business out.
Sure.
Right?
In perspective.
I set their business up. All right. I put all the tables out. Right.
And then, you weren't asked to.
No,
you thought,
100%.
But you might have thought you were helping
out.
But you might not have been helping.
So I said, hey, anything I do to help? Did I do something wrong? Nope, you're good. I'm always open. So I'm like, hey, I hope I didn't overstep my bounds. No, I appreciate it. So I'm always open in the conversation. I'm not like thinking, hey, high five for me, bro. I'm like, hey, I hope I didn't fuck up. No, you're good. Okay, cool. I'm sorry I made the list. I said, I understood. I went back, right?
Yeah.
I understood, like, hey, that person might be emotionally charged by it, which I'm not. Because this is not an emotional setup.
How about, imagine this. Imagine if this was your reaction. Hey, man, I was setting up, before you got here. They kind of had me make a list and everything. Is there anything you need me to do? But I needed to let you know, dude, that I'm from out of town. I had to leave work early. If I could perform real fast, because I need to go.
No, they don't owe me nothing. No,
they don't. No. But you could have explained it. See,
no. That would expect someone to. Now we're getting their emotions tied into it.
How did he know that you were there early? How did he know that you?
Well, one, he knows.
I mean, you're assuming.
No, because we've known each other for a long time. He knows what I do.
But you see my point?
And then I said, hey, I had to leave work today to get here. I said that.
From one perspective,
I said that.
You can be understanding and it can be okay, and you can see like, hey, I can see how that could happen. And from the other perspective, you get to have negativity.
There's no negativity, though.
Holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting another person to die. If it didn't mean that much, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
I'm saying my point of the thing is it's the thing that does bother me is when people think that you said we were talking about I don't see myself at different levels of better. It bothers me when other people think, oh wait, you just put us in a caste system. That's your game. I'm not going to play your game where you think this comic is better than that comic or someone else when we were all making $0. Like, nah, ain't happening. You do your game by yourself, and I'll go with other people who respect the game because, like you said, if you listen to like podcasts or comics or these people who talk about going on the road, like people who like are legit, not like people here locally. We all want to be legit, and some people are funny, and I will consider people comics. They're good enough to be considered comics. I'm not good enough to consider myself a comic. I haven't got paid for it, so I won't put that in my label yet because it won't fit my resume. You've been paid for it yet? No. So anyways, the ones who do it, straight up say, we don't go to those clubs anymore. We don't deal with people who are disrespectful for like that. And when people do it, they get kind of blackballed through the community of making it comics because they all understand how hard it is already to get there. Because granted, I said, I might have my path, and I'm not going to tell anybody my path to get to where it took to show up for the day because I don't know your path, bro. And to say that, like, to tell them, hey, man, I showed up, I missed work, like, oh, that just said to me, like me verbally saying that is, I think I'm more important or better than anybody else here, or it doesn't matter what you took to travel here because you'd be like, dude, I drove an hour to here and I don't got any gas money. Be like, well, fuck, everybody has a story. So I'm saying, to be honest, to take the emotions out of it, I'm going to show up emotionless like a business. And if I show up on the list like respectful like a man or a woman, and you keep the honest list like comics typically do, you're good. But once someone else got their emotions in it and they're like, you know what? I think someone else is better than someone else, or I don't like this person, which is not, guess what? None of it adds up to my life.
Dude, last night,
I washed my hands of it.
Last night I did a show. There's an online sign up.
Barbagen.
Right? Yeah. So I sign up. I'm second on the list.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm there. I'm ready to go. Mm-hmm. 5 dudes came from Bakersfield.
Trent wasn't there.
Trent was running it, but 5 other dudes from Bakersfield.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen him before.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? And then so they were like, hey, do you mind if these dudes go up first? No, I live 30 minutes away, not even 30 minutes away in Visalia. These dudes live an hour and a half away, and it's fucking 9:30. Yeah, let them get their 5 minutes in and start their way home. I still did my set and got home before them. You know what I mean? So in theory, yeah, I had
So your goal was just to get home.
No, so I had to wait 30 extra minutes. Like I got there and I had to wait 30 extra minutes for them to get all there because they all got 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So I had to wait 30 minutes. But in my head, I've driven to Bakersfield, and you know what I mean? And their shows end at 9, and I don't get home till 11. This is fucking 9:30. They all have to wait that same 25 minutes because they came together. Plus, they have an hour and a half trip home. That puts them home midnight, 1 o'clock. Yeah, dude, you can do your 5 minutes, man. You drove all the way here. We want them to come back. We want to be inviting. I know when I go to Bakersfield and see them, they're going to be like, hey, dude, I remember you from Barmageddon. You know what I mean? Because it's a community. So even though I had to wait an extra half an hour, it was worth it because I got to see those dudes. I got to make friends with them. Now I know some people in Bakersfield. And it was a whole community thing. But I could see what you're saying because if I'd had friends and family come, it's a Sunday night, a half an hour, it's almost 10 fucking o'clock. These people got work.
Yeah, I guarantee the crowd that you played in front of was different than the crowd those guys played in front of. Plus, dude, look, okay, I drive 3 hours to work every day and back. Shh, I'm gonna get me on camera.
Huh.
That's you. Ready? Shut up about 5 or 10 minute fucking drive, bitches. Okay, the sets are 5 minutes. You're gonna wait 5 people. That's 25 minutes. Go home 25 minutes later, bitches. That's what it is. If you go to LA and do a fucking show, they'll say, hey, can I get on early? Like, no, it's 2 o'clock when you get on. 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't give a fuck where you're from. Because in LA, it takes everybody shit longer time. So they tell you all fuck off back to everybody.
And that's what makes us cooler than fucking LA, man, because you can do that.
But they're being successful. They're trying to play in front of crowds. So your goal there would be to play in front of a crowd, right?
My goal...
Well, your goal is to let people see you.
My goal is...
Or you don't go out at all.
Making connections, bro. Making connections.
So there's different points of view. So you're
all about connections.
So you're doing stand-up for the community.
I'm doing stand-up for the fucking rush.
I mean, yeah, so, but you don't want to go like on tour and start...
Sure.
Well, say that. So you need to perform in front of... You got to turn it into a business.
No.
I mean, like, I've done this.
As soon as I do that, that's when it'll stop being fun.
No, you have to be... No, you always have fun, but I'm saying you have to understand that you're in a business.
No.
You'll never make it.
That's right. And
Yeah.
I'm not even trying to.
I'm saying that's a different perspective from people.
Fuck yeah. I'm just trying to find people to perform in front of. I got my little group of buddies. Because what you're just saying now was making me think, yeah, so there are cliques out there.
Fuck clicks.
What I'm saying is, okay, so imagine this. There's people that you're friendly with, right?
Everybody.
No.
I'm open in front of everybody.
Okay, but just imagine there's some people that you're friendly with, right? And you think you're friends. And these people run shows, right? And they're booking people, but everybody but you. And you're like, hey, wait a minute, dude. I thought we were friends. How come I can't get on your... No. So, but instead of getting my feelings hurt and being all, you know what I mean?
Kiss their ass?
No.
I don't do that. Sorry.
What we decided to do was we made our own little crew. We made our own little crew, and we're gonna start throwing our own little shows. You know what I mean? But we're not gonna exclude them. But if you can't, you know what I mean? If you can't beat them, you know, or you can't join them, then just start your own shit. You know what I mean? If they don't want us to participate in their shit, that's fine. We're gonna start our own shit. If you want to come participate in our shit, that's great.
So like,
but it's
you said what I've been saying.
Yeah, but there's no reason.
Fuck those people. Oh, you guys want to have like drama in your own clique? I don't want to be part of that clique.
But there's no
guess
fuck
what?
them.
Guess what? I'll still do my own thing. Guess what? I still have an open door policy.
Because we're going to be the model. If you don't know how to act right, we're going to show you how to act right. And you know,
you do your thing, but I'm gonna be respectful. Yeah. And guess what? I'm gonna be. It's crazy coming from you because you're a stand-up man about freedom, right?
Dude, yeah.
Are people gonna tell you to take vaccines?
I think tell me whatever they want.
Relax. We're all taking vaccines here, dude. I know you're against the vaccine.
I'm not against vaccines. I'm against...
I'm just totally joking about this. What I'm trying to say is...
people pushing me. I live in America. I'm free. I make my own fucking choices.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
I say the same thing without emotion. I'm not emotionally tied to it. I'm like, oh, you are going to have your own vaccine rules in your place, and you're going to have, one day you're number 1, one day you're number 10. Like you're talking about science, always changing, right? It's never staying the same. What are we showing up to? We don't know. So if you show up and you're constantly changing the lineup, and you're lying to us, everybody has the same fucking conspiracy story, right? I mean, literally, everybody from Bakersfield to here tells me the same fucking stories.
But until I said something to the person and asked them about it, it's all just assumptions. I mean, until you go up and say, hey, man, do you not fucking like me?
I don't care about that.
I know you don't, but obviously you do. Or you be doing comedy because I miss you. You don't come out anymore.
I do comedy.
You don't come out there?
I don't go there.
Well, what the fuck?
I go to other places.
I know you do, but I don't see you other places either.
Well, you in Labyrinth ever? I'm going to get the barbecue. A lot of times though, I'm busy at night. I've been a lot, and my whole family had COVID in the last 2 weeks.
Not my point.
So you haven't seen me in 2 or 3 weeks.
my point is, dude, that shouldn't be a deterrent, because there's enough people that do like you,
also,
and everybody enjoys your comedy.
Also, there's a couple of things I don't know if you know.
But I don't care, because you're not there, and we miss you, and that's the point.
I'll go to other places. I'm there.
Yeah, but you're not. But I'm there. You're not. And the only reason you're not there is because you got bumped a couple times. And I'm saying that's a shitty reason not coming out with your friends.
Well, no, I go there to one, meet people, hang out. There's a little bit of camaraderie. Two, I like comedy. I love comedy. So I love seeing people are funny. I love, like Ben Switzer. I like that guy. He's fucking funny.
Ben's awesome, dude.
He's super smart. I love that guy. Hey, he's a good example. I was telling Antonio, he had on the show. I've texted him, hey, bro, how you doing? Didn't text me back, right? I text him again, hey, I was checking on you, how you doing, bro? Didn't text me back. He might not like me. I don't care. No. Hey, no, listen. I don't care. No, guess what? Ben's a great guy. I like Ben.
Okay.
But I don't have to be liked by everybody. No, you don't. It doesn't even matter to me. And guess what?
If you're trying to open a door,
it's irrelevant. I can still be super nice to Ben.
Sure.
And Ben can be super nice to me.
Sure.
But it doesn't mean we have to be wants to do business partner with me.
Well, but look at it like this. Oh, so you're trying to open a door, right? And you run up and you smack your head against it. And you're like, the door's not opening. So you run up and you smack your head against it, and the door's not opening. You're like, well, I tried to open the door. Yes, you did, but there's 1,000 ways to skin a cat. Like, if let's say you went up there and you were like, hey, Ben, I'm running a podcast. I think you're really funny. Are you available at any of these times?
Oh, he's already been on the show. I'm not worried about that. We've been friends, but said there's a.
But you see what I'm saying?
Just because someone doesn't like you there's no emotion tied to that.
Oh, but
it doesn't hurt my feelings. Does it hurt your feelings if someone doesn't like you?
No, because in my life, I don't have, there's no in between.
How about this?
Either people like me or they don't.
Does it bother you when people don't put you on their shows? Or if you ask someone to put them on a show and they said, I'm not going to put you on the show.
It only bothers me because I thought they were my friends. And in my world, whenever so if I'm running along through the forest, I'm going to get to a point where I'm going to stop and I'll wait for everyone to catch up. And if they can't catch up, I'm going to go back and get my friends. Yep. And so until we're all at the same point, I'm not going to advance.
Yeah.
You don't leave anyone behind.
100%.
So if I'm running shows, you're my friend. I don't give a fuck if you're funny. You're my fucking friend. Come do my show.
Yeah.
Because that's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So when I ask people about shows and they flake me off, the reason it hurts is because I think they're my friends. So I'm invested in them.
And comic is art. So your art is the most emotional attached. It hurts.
But it's a community. I've never had people that I thought were friends that had ill intentions toward me. You know what I mean? It's a weird thought.
A chameleon.
Yeah.
So I say this, like, Barry, let me tell you, eye to eye, buddy, okay? I only treat people in one kind of way, Barry. Yeah. I need eye contact.
Yeah. No, I'm good, dude. Hold on. Give me a second here.
Don't cry.
No, I'm not crying. I'm just...
Best friends.
It's still...
I only treat people in one way. I'm going to treat you like my best friend.
Yeah.
Because I am not a chameleon. So if I'm talking to you like, hey, we're doing shows, like, hey, you're pretty good, but I can't put you on, I'd be honest about everything because that's how I am to everybody. And then now if you know that if I'm hanging out with Davey or Billy, anybody, you know that I'm honest with them, with you, and I'm always going to be a straight shooter. So like when you said you thought the guy was your friend, but he wasn't. He treated you fake and treated someone else differently. I don't have that. Everybody is treated equally, all the same. Your car breaks down. I don't say, well, I've only known you for 2 weeks. I'm like, oh, hell yeah, I got you, bro. Hey, you say, hey, man, Reuben, I'm going to have a show tomorrow. Oh, I know what it means to you to invite me to the show. I'm fucking there. If you're my best friend and you call me, the treatment is the same across the board.
But in perspective, this is all my fault because my feelings are hurt because this guy is not meeting expectations of friendship that he doesn't even know are his expectations. We've never had a verbal discussion.
Yeah.
He obviously feels differently about me than I feel about him.
Exactly.
So, but it's my expectations that aren't getting met. So instead of having all those negative feelings, I was just like, okay, hey, you know what I mean? That's not a possible avenue. So, you know what I mean? I'm exploring my own shit, but that wouldn't stop me from inviting him to be at one of my shows.
Yeah.
Because that's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna base my actions and decisions off of what other people are doing. I'm gonna keep doing the right thing, hoping that people like, hey, when Barry did that, it made me feel this way. You know, maybe that's and so be the model.
I'll give you an example. When as a perfect example, when I was apprentice as an electrician, I've told the story many times. I went to this company, Collins Electric, and the supervisor brought me in, and he said, I want to talk to you. I'm like, cool, go in there. I'm cocky. I think I've been doing electric work forever. I think I'm a badass, okay? I go in there to talk to the superintendent of the company. He's like, asked me a couple questions, and he says, we got any questions for me? And I said, not really, but I really appreciate it if you don't break that chair. He's like, huh? I said, because when I take your job, I want to sit in that same chair. And then 2 years later, he gets fired because he wasn't very good, and he ends up working for me.
Oh, wow.
The day he's coming to work for me, the whole job site, there's like 700 guys. They're telling me, Reuben, that guy's going to come work for you. Treat him like shit. Everybody hates this guy. Stick it to him. Get him, Reuben. Like, put him in the trenches, blah, blah, blah. I went home, and I'm thinking, first of all, that's not me. I don't have that. I don't have a malice type mentality. I don't think that if I treat you bad, somehow the circle of life is going to benefit me. That's going to hurt me too. You know what I mean? I said, your success is my success. If I hurt you, it's going to hurt me. So next day, came to work. He's working for me. Treat him like a man. He's already showed up to work. Hey, what's up, bud? Granted, it was like he was being lazy. Like, hey, man, you might have been superintendent somewhere else, but you ain't superintendent here. Start working. A little jokey, jabby jab, but he deserved to work like a man. At the end of the day, at the time, he said, look, I'm going to take a layoff, go somewhere else, but I want you to tell you this, man. Thank you. I treated everybody like shit, but you showed me what it meant to be a foreman because you treated me like a man when everybody else wanted to treat me like shit. You just did the right thing. And that's just who I am. I don't give a fuck about some other bullshit. If I have a job to do or something, it's unemotional. There's no emotion tied to that. You know what I mean? I said, I got kids. Like I said, if you want to talk about emotion, think about having a dream at night where you have two boys. I've had this dream a million times. We're in a lake, in a boat. My boys are 3 and 4. One falls in one way. Do I jump in and save him while the other one looks over and falls in? I lose them both. So I dump in the water to save them, and that's how the dream always ends. That's life. That's real emotions, real shit. People tell me they don't like me in a bar.
I don't know. I'm just saying, be the model, man. Just be.
That's what I do.
Be the person that you want everyone else to be.
And here you are.
Yeah, fuck yeah. And don't hate. Because I don't like everybody. Not everybody likes me. And that dude's not obligated to put me on any of his fucking bullshit.
No, that's why I've never asked.
But on the other hand, dude, you know what I mean? He might end up being one of my best friends because, you know what I mean?
I don't treat anybody differently. Hey, I see him and say, hey, what's up, dude? What's up? But I won't give you the power to control me when I know that's what you do. Because it wasn't like a one-off thing. Because, dude,
but what
5 times.
What happens if this guy, every time he let someone get close, he got hurt, and he's like, I can't let that happen. What happens if it's not even about me? What if it's about him?
I can't save everybody. I have 5 kids, and I got this show, and sometimes people just got to go on their own path. And if he comes up to me, if he wants to be saved, and he has a question,
but it's not about.
Feel free to ask me.
It's about him not including me in his shows. What happens?
What
happens if I remind him of his uncle that touched him when he was little? I don't know.
Hey, if that's only hey, you know what? There's gonna be plenty of shows that don't want to play you. Don't let that prevent you from being successful.
That's what I'm saying.
So go somewhere else.
And I'm not going to let it prevent me from having a friend.
Go off somewhere else. It's always nice to do. And also, one of all the lessons I've ever learned, he's taught me some of the best lessons, even if it wasn't him verbally, just watching him. And I've tell everybody, do these things and watch that guy. He does some great things. He told me this, and he's taken me on the week, done some great things. But I know when it comes down to these situations, okay, I want it. So my goal here, I don't know if you ever noticed, I've been doing a podcast about 3 years. I'm recording music for over 20 years. I've been doing stand-up forever, but my goal to be a stand-up comedian when I was a kid. I always tell a story is a hard time deciding who would be kid or play, Fonzie or Potsy. You couldn't be the funny guy and the cool guy. So it's always like a childhood struggle. That was
couldn't be the funny and cool guy?
Well, in when you watch TV in society, it always seemed like you couldn't be the funny guy and the cool guy at the same time. Those are childhood things I dealt with. Now I realize you just got to be yourself. Authentic is authentic. That's why I told you to come here. You have an event you want to talk about? We'll talk about an event. But other than that, what we're going to talk about, it needs to be authentic. We didn't plan none of this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It needs to be real on everything. And that's I'm saying my interaction with you is real. My interaction with people is real. So I don't get the emotion tied up because emotions aren't real. Well, I don't know if the guy likes me or not like me. I don't know his past situation. But when it comes down to business, I am trying to do a business here that I'm going to have to do things smart, and I'm not putting people in my troll. So anyways, I do the podcast. I have the studio. We rent the studio out. I record other podcasts. I have multiple podcast network. I'm going to open up a comedy store, a legitimate comedy club, where the media company is built into it.
Nice.
I have a building I'm looking at right now. I have the business plan. Everything's written out. I'm fucking talking to a couple investors. I've been doing this big time. So there's a reason why maybe some people might not like me when I have someone of the same business aspects of these people.
Fuck 'em.
I don't care. I say let people do their own thing, but say like there's bigger goals than just doing this podcast. But with that, you can't have a clique. Also, if I'm going to open up a comedy club, dude, you know what I want in my comedy club? People want to be there.
Hey, Joey Diaz said, you give me 3 solid motherfuckers and I could take over the world. A crew of 4 and you could fuck shit up. And I got a crew of 5. So I'm going to fucking, you know what I mean? Old Kissinger and fucking Wallenberger and Antonio and fucking Billy Bob. And we're going to fucking take over the world, man. Tell you what. But unfortunately, I have to go. I have the open mic at 7.
It is late too, yeah.
But I want to thank you. This has been a good experience,
awesome.
man.
Yeah. Sweet. Well,
Fucking good times.
so
for sure.
where are you going to be at?
I'm going to be at Oaxaca 4773 East Belmont
That's tonight.
tonight.
What about the rest of the week? Where they can find you?
Yeah.
Online, Instagram?
Wednesdays at DeChico's. Yeah, Instagram, Barry P478. Just come see me. Fucking A. I love people.
Yeah, the Chico's right down the street.
Chico's
Middle
down the
Clovis. I said Wednesday nights, a free show. Go see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, free show, free drinks, right there in the middle of Old Town Clovis.
I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Well-
bring cake.
Yeah, bro, I love cake. Yeah, not the band.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Well, another great episode. I'm saying like, share, comment, subscribe. We out.